everyone, my name is Mitch Dyer. Welcome back to IGN Overclocked, episode 4, as my notes say.
Nice.
I've been away for a while. I don't know what's going on in the video game world at all. So yeah, this is IGN's PC show. I am joined today by Marty Sleva. Welcome back.
Hi, Mitch. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Marty.
Yeah, that was a real cordial of us.
It's because we were being profane before, and now we're business casual now. Marty.
Yeah,
We have a man to your left. His name is Brian Albert. Brian, this is your first time on Overclocked.
Yeah, this is not my first time on a Dota podcast, which is what this is going to become.
Oh, sorry.
Marty.
Miranda.
Not sorry.
Miranda Sanchez,
Hey.
host of IGN Anime Club. Welcome aboard
Hey, thanks.
to Overclocked. Dan Stapleton will be here, but he's having a baby, so he's a little preoccupied.
He's the first man to ever give birth.
The announcement in the office, by the way, was really weird because Steve was like, Dan is in the hospital.
Oh man.
And then he says, oh, because the baby's coming. And then everyone claps.
He's like the doctor from Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, he passed. As it passed, he passed the test.
Damn it. Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about today. At some point, we're going to get to the International and Dota 2, but we're going to do our best not to make Marty suicidal
No,
about
I can do
Dota
this.
2.
No,
so,
it's trial by fire.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you're not into Dota 2, that's fine. We have that conversation is going to be a lot bigger than Dota. So stick
We
around.
even talked about Dota on Anime Club this week. So.
Nice.
I'm still working my way through Dota 1. I'm like halfway through the story, so don't spoil it.
This is a nightmare.
Jokes.
Life is a nightmare. Brian Albert, you went to QuakeCon.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
QuackCon. It
QuackCon.
was, but we never really got to catch up with you about Doom. I mean, you played the multiplayer.
I did.
We never talked about it. You just did a weird hand-touching thing to me, Marty.
I was held Mitch's hand while I tried to roll up my cardigan.
It's a very thank you for your support. This has been a very difficult introduction to this topic. I appreciate your support. You get to play the multiplayer a whole bunch. It's basically a lot of the stuff we're going to see in the beta, to my understanding. But I still have not seen any multiplayer footage. I don't know if it's out there. I don't know if I'm just not looking in the right places. You got to play it. I want to know about it. Literally, what is Doom multiplayer?
It is a lot of things that make you think of old school shooters, like arena-style shooters, like non-regenerating health and weapon
Sure,
pickups
yeah.
instead of, well, there's loadouts, but you can still pick up things. But anyway, it is not old Doom. But I talked to developers about that. I was like, are you trying to make this feel like old Doom or like new conventional shooters? And they're like, well, not really new or old. We just want everything to kind of make you keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a thing that I've noticed. We'll talk about that probably later, is that all these shooters and the developers want your games to be fast now.
Yeah.
They want you to keep moving all the time and
Yeah.
not stop, which
I
is
mean,
a
it's
strange
always
thing.
Doom's thing, right?
But yeah, but like
or more Quake's thing.
there was
honestly.
a while where there was like cover and tactical shooters were kind of the thing,
Sure.
and now we're past that.
Yeah, but now it's about speed and mobility with like Titanfall and with
wall
Advanced
running
Warfare
and jetpacks
yeah.
and
right,
bouncing
and we'll
off
get to
stuff
that.
and-
But Doom's multiplayer, it's super fun. I only got to play one map, one game mode. I did that twice, and each round was 6 minutes, so I didn't see a
Is this
ton
a
of
math
stuff.
problem?
I'm
If
confused.
two
One times one
trains,
times two
if
times
two
six.
trains.
We're in too deep.
Yeah, it's great, but they added like loadouts. They said like, we don't want you to search for a weapon. We want you to be useful right away. We want you to just go in and blow stuff up. Movement speed is super fast. The lines of sight were pretty short in the map I saw, so it's a lot of like
Really?
you come around a corner and like you're fighting right
So
away.
it's like close quarter.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
super
yeah.
close quarter
Okay.
stuff. I mean, it was really fun and fast, and every once in a while there's a power up that lets you turn into a demon, and you have like dual rocket
Ooh.
launchers.
Oh, that's awesome.
And once you
That's
have
pretty
that
dope.
person, you try to like defend them because they can take a lot of punishment, but not a whole lot. So
Okay.
if the enemy focuses on the down, you can still lose.
Okay,
So
I
you
have like
Right.
I have like 10 questions.
Let's
right
do
now.
this.
All
What's
right,
up?
let's
Okay.
go. 10 questions with Marty Sleva. Nope.
That was.
News Ghost is not part of this podcast.
Oh, we don't make that
Roper
noise.
Report
We don't,
dead.
we don't make that noise anymore. Wait, so was it team based? Was that what you were
Yes,
playing?
the mode I played was I think 6v6.
Okay, 6v6. Are you limited to only 2 weapons at a time, or Doom? No, Doom was as many weapons as you want.
Doom has been that way. It is now 2 weapons and a piece of equipment, which is like a grenade or a teleporter that you throw out, and then you activate it and you fly to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
For a second, I thought you said a pizza equipment.
A pizza equipment.
Like, an oven or
good
one
old
of those,
pizza
those
equipment.
little cutter circle things.
But no, telefragging is back, so if you throw the teleporter under an enemy and warp into them, you just like inhabit their body.
awesome.
Just,
That's great.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's
That is-
really good.
Sounds really
that is super cool.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Did you get to play with any of the map creator
No,
thing?
that was not there.
Okay.
This was an older build that was made. This is not going to crash. We're going to show it at QuakeCon, and so it didn't have a lot of the stuff that they've added to it, I guess.
Okay, what did the other people look like? Because so far we haven't really seen what Jimmy Doom looks like.
They were
what the monsters
like
look
some
Jimmy
Doom
Doom.
guys.
What? They're just like
They were some Doom
boring,
guys.
boring ass Space Marines.
From what I saw, I didn't see any customization stuff.
Whatever. Like that's not why you play Doom.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to dress up my Doom guy. I just want to shoot some demons in the face.
yeah,
But
if
can
that's what
dress
you
up your
want.
Demons? That's the real
Oh my
question.
god.
I love that.
Mm-hmm,
I love that. Also, we need to take a quick break because I think Miranda's mic is broken. Time out.
Oh no!
All right, we fixed the
It's
technical
fine.
issue.
We did it.
It was actually literally nothing was wrong. I was just being paranoid. Welcome
Yeah.
back, Miranda.
Hi, thanks.
You never left.
Yeah, I've been
Sorry,
the whole
you're
time.
talking about Doom
Politely
when you're-
nodding, you know.
yeah.
So can you camp? We were saying that there's a short line of sight.
Yeah, and
People hate camping.
I just
but
want to be
some
clear. I
people-
played one map, so there are
Right.
probably maps with more open spaces where
Sure,
snipers
yeah.
would be a thing you would want to do. But yeah, you can totally camp. You can start with a rocket launcher. You can start with a massive shotgun and just hide around a corner.
I love shotguns,
Do you want to
so
camp?
I just want to pop up behind walls and say
So
surprise.
that's actually a really interesting thing. Is like camping probably won't be an issue because people are moving so quickly. And
Yeah.
the minute somebody is like, okay, I got my one spawn kill, now that person is somewhere else and it's like, I know where that idiot is. I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Sitting
you
in
also
one
are
place.
sort of incentivized to not sit around, which is cool because
Sure.
there are a few power weapons you can pick up. One of them was like a 5-shot. I don't remember. It was basically a railgun, like a Gauss cannon or something.
Okay.
And it can see through walls, like Farsight style from
Nice.
Perfect Dark. You can't shoot through walls, but you can see through them.
Speak my language.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a weapon that builds up a charge the more you move.
Oh,
and
that's
so when you
cool.
fire it, it's stronger.
that is
so it encourages you to just
brilliant.
keep moving all the time. Like
That's
they
really
just
cool.
want you to go.
okay.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Yep.
Does it feel like Doom? Because Doom, like to me, Doom was always like you were always moving in circle strafing and stuff like that, right? Like
So-
that was the thing that made Doom interesting. But at the same time, like what you're describing sounds like Quake.
Here's the weird thing. My first Doom was Doom 3.
Wow. Okay.
And then I went back and played the older ones. Yeah, it. I mean, the style is the same. The ridiculous gore and all these demons and these cool weapons and massive overpowered shotguns. But yeah, it feels more like Quake to me. It
Yeah,
was
I mean that's
super fast.
like Doom 1 and Doom 2 became sort of among small circles famous for its multiplayer, but to me that series A has never been about multiplayer, and even if it was, that was literally 2 decades ago. Like no one played Doom. Did Doom 3 even have multiplayer?
I'm pretty sure it did.
But no one played it.
I don't remember.
No one was playing it if like Halo was out, like that kind of stuff. Like that, no one was playing
Yeah.
Doom multiplayer. So it's interesting that they're sort of, I don't know, they're
We
not.
definitely did. It
They
just
did.
yes,
yeah,
it did.
but like they're building on sort of the pillars of Doom single player and Doom
Pillars
Doom
of
history.
Doom.
Pillars of Doom.
Nice.
As
That's the
opposed
sequel.
to like what the Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I found that really interesting.
One thing they haven't really talked about yet is there will be some kind of progression in multiplayer. Not like here's new weapons with attachments and camos and stuff. They're not really talking about what it is. I hope it's robust in some way because I talked to Pete Hines at Bethesda, and they're not planning on making this like it's our shooter for every year or whatever. You know, like
Yeah,
so
sure,
like
yeah,
if
I
they
mean-
want this to have legs, it needs
Incentive to
there needs to be
stay
something
around.
there.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
because do people? I feel sad saying this, but do people play shooters anymore just because it's fun round to round, or do they
And
play it
if
because
you
they like
have-
unlocking stuff?
And
Yeah.
if you have a crew of people
Huh.
who let's play the shooter every Thursday or whatever, then
Right.
I think that's like
Yeah.
your incentive as a group. But if you're on your own,
I can't think
Yeah.
of the last time I did that.
Best.
Was obviously like the three of us have Dota,
Yeah.
but like we do that because the match to match thing. Like there is no progression.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is match to match.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean that was what Halo 2 was. I mean, people
Yeah.
were playing Halo 2 for the moment to moment satisfaction as opposed to
But even-
once I guess Modern Warfare came out. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
sort of
that-
the one
that
that
was
changed
Modern
it.
Warfare was the
disruptor,
tipping point.
Yeah.
I mean, and Halo 5 to a certain extent is doing that, going back to that, right? Like it's about the arena combat, it's about picking up weapons, it's about being the best, etc., etc. But then there's the cosmetic stuff. So it's like the progression is you unlock points, you get requisition packs, you get bonus weapons, you get like, and that's there. But match to match, like you play it because you want to be the best.
Like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
Like no
He's from
one ever
Pocket
was.
Monsters.
Oh
Good job,
man,
Marty.
can I have a bad confession?
Halo 5.
You
Oh.
saying catch 'em made me realize that it ties into catch 'em all.
You did not
You didn't
just
know
have
that?
Really?
that.
It literally never. It
conversation.
never registered.
Mitch!
It never. What?
what? How did you not ever realize that?
It's spelled with a K.
You know that Pokemon tagline: "Have to catch them all."
Got to get them. Find the Pokemon.
I want to point out, by the way, Halo 5, another example of shooter that's adding a ton of mobility.
Yeah,
to
I mean
it.
you have the thrust pack, right? Like that's contributing to the overall mobility of it. It speeds it up in the same way Titanfall. and
Advanced
Call of Duty.
Warfare did a similar thing, and
Just-
now Black Ops 3 is doing a similar
Yeah.
thing.
So is Doom? They don't have that, right? Like it's just fast. Like they just dialed up the movement speed a whole bunch.
So I only got to play a little bit, and the controls I was still trying to figure
Sure,
out.
yeah.
I didn't see anything.
You were
No
blind,
sprint.
you
You
didn't-
just sprint all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see any other weird stuff. I think you can double jump now, which I don't know if that was a Doom thing.
I don't remember.
But-
Did
yeah,
you play it on mouse and keyboard or controller?
Mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
Can you,
You
rocket
plebeian.
jump? Or do you just play
I just shot rockets everywhere. I'm sure it boosted me up somewhere. It was just a small map with 12 people.
Brian has
all
no
just,
awareness of his own body. and you come up and it's
What is happening?
I actually had a real bad case of vertigo when I played this game. So you mentioned the beta earlier, and the beta, that's still that thing that if you bought Wolfenstein 14 years ago, that
Yes.
you're going to have access to this beta?
So you have access to the beta closer to the launch in spring. They're having an alpha, a few alphas, where they pick people randomly who've registered for that beta.
Okay.
So if you don't get into the alphas, whatever, you're fine next spring.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
They're testing it a
legitimately
lot.
don't even remember if I owned a copy of Wolfenstein. I played Wolfenstein, but I don't know if I
Didn't
owned
you
it.
review it?
Wolfenstein.
No, I will.
Oh,
I
you did
reviewed
New Order.
Blood.
Or Old Blood.
Old Blood.
There we go.
Oh, I reviewed Old Boy.
Yeah,
the Old Boy
Wolfenstein,
DLC.
Old Boy,
Where you got to eat a whole live squid.
where you live in a room for 9 years of your life.
There's a movie called Old Boy that I need to watch.
That's literally what we were talking about.
I was like,
How am
know this is
I'm in
as
the
bad
middle
as
of a
the ketchup.
disappointed
I didn't know what you were talking about.
disappointment
I mean,
sandwich.
I don't know. The ketchup
I don't know
thing
if Old
pretty
Boy
Yeah,
is
it's
quite
pretty
on
obvious.
par. Okay.
Everyone just get all your confessions.
Randy,
out.
you're the only one who hasn't disappointed me yet. Congrats.
I mean,
You watched
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time about a month ago.
And that makes me
movie
proud.
It was fine.
Oh my god.
Where am I?
Have that back. Just throwing things in anger. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, is that it? I mean, so walking away from Doom, you only had a little bit of experience. The beta's obviously coming. Do you think this is something that will legitimately catch on? Like, will people play Doom multiplayer? Or is it just another shooter multiplayer?
It's not that, but until I know what kind of progression is in there, because they keep talking about like it's going to be a big thing. I don't know. Like it is really fun. If there's like supported with a lot of maps and weapons and DLC, something to kind of make this game last longer than like the 8 or 9 months that shooter fans are used to, then sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
it's so
yeah.
fun can only take you so far. Like Titanfall was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was sort of it.
But I think
Stick
Titanfall's
around.
problem also was what you're asking for, which was all this add-on content because
Yeah,
it divided the
Yeah.
community.
Right.
Yeah.
And Halo is solving that problem by saying literally all the DLC is free. Everyone can get it. Nobody's fractured. You just get in that playlist.
Yeah.
Titanfall also had a very small offering of maps right away.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, Titanfall and Evolve are two games that's like you play it for like the first hour or two.
Remember Evolve?
You're like, this is so fun, and you're like, but I'm not gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
It was real good for 2 hours.
Yeah, and I think game demos, like we have the very fortunate privilege to be able to play a lot of games early and be like, you play it and you're like, wow, that was really cool. Like I really want to play more. But when you get the full thing, a lot of the time it's like, oh, like I don't think I do.
Yeah,
I think I'm
I've played
good.
this at 6 different events. And
Yeah,
I've
like
put
that's
10
more
hours
than
into it.
enough.
I'll go out there and say it. I will probably not play something very long because of Dota.
Yeah.
So
Surprise!
Yeah.
Isn't this a problem? Do I have to be the one to have an intervention with you guys?
The greatest irony of all. Now it's weird. Brian, so you saw Doom at QuakeCon. Did you get to see any of the level editor stuff, the map making stuff?
no.
No, man. Okay.
They
'cause-
re-showed what they showed at E3.
Okay, so you've
It's
seen
not maps.
Yeah.
Does that interest you at all? Like, do you want to make Doom levels? Because what's interesting to me about all this is Doom, the game, the original Doom, was this gateway for a lot of young people to discover how to make games, and it led to a lot of people becoming professional developers. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people that people know and games that they love came from people who came up making Quake maps, which is crazy and really cool. And they're definitely trying to capitalize on that again in a more modern way, and simplifying it so you don't have to learn to code or anything, and you don't have to worry about like extracting all sorts of stuff. Like you just go in and you make it. But do you think the tools are robust enough? Like, do you think that Doom is going to make a level designer out of somebody? Because a lot of games are doing this stuff now, where it's like,
It
and there's
might.
mod tools, and you make some stuff, and you can. Everyone's going to be a video game
And
designer.
we're seeing a lot of success stories scattered about on these.
Sure, like the Skyrim kid who made like the weird Skyrim expansion, and with
He was
all his own
hired.
narrative content.
Yeah.
They hired him at Bungie.
And Media Molecule hired a guy who made a Little Big Planet level.
Yeah.
Brian Altano made a cool Mario Maker level. And
Now he
he's-
works for
he's
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto's gardener. Congrats, Brian.
I think it could.
Hey, I got a big garden.
We're gonna put a pizza oven right in the middle of this garden. Hey.
I'm
I
more
got a
interested in
steak. They cut it a
seeing.
pizza. Sorry.
That's fine. Are
I
you
asked
guys,
you a
guys
question
good?
and now, yeah,
Are you guys
just,
good?
Just,
I'm more interested in how these are going to be shared because Bethesda just created their Bethesda.net, and they want to have that as a portal, sort of where you go and find mods and rate them and share them. And that's huge because discovery is a big thing. Because a lot of these mods are like, it's on my blog. It's this seedy looking place.
No, totally.
You want to get some
mods? Like, even though I know modding is usually fine, like whenever I try to play with a mod or install a mod, I still can't help but feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so if there's like a portal where the community can kind of come together and rate the best ones.
Yeah, like you said, like
I'm all about that.
Discovery is key in sort of bubbling up the really cool ones, which is a problem that Little Big Planet has had, and stuff like sound shapes. And I mean, if it works when you're just on the internet and you can find something and download it, like it's gonna be tough to do that for Doom on consoles and things like that.
Yeah, SnapMap doesn't look quite as robust as something like.
God, that's a terrible name.
I don't like that it's intercapped.
Am I saying it the right way?
Word. Yeah,
SnapMap?
SnapMap, you're saying
SnapMap.
It's SnapMap.
Because you don't modify.
Wait, Marty just got it.
SnapMap.
You don't modify terrain or anything, right? You're placing
you're just,
parts
it's
of the
modular.
level.
It's
yeah,
Lego.
totally modular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Legos.
So as much as you can like do cool things with that, I think there's a limit where your ideas are still going to have to be based off someone else's framework.
Sure.
And not that you can't do great things with that. You totally can. But I don't think it'll reach quite the level of stuff we saw with maybe Forge or...
Right, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
like, that was a pretty limited tool set at the time,
Forge?
like, comparatively. But people were still able to do so much in that framework.
Yeah, they recreated old levels that hadn't come out as DLC
and, like,
yet and stuff. It was
Bungie
really cool.
like adopted game modes made in that to become part of normal Halo
Griffball.
multiplayer. Exactly.
Yeah. Griffball's so fun.
Griffball's the best.
Games.
Yeah, I really like mods. Professional game designers are awesome. They do their thing, but sometimes the community just is so plugged in and they know what they want, and they'll make the thing that everyone wants and do it well. I personally don't know if I'll spend as much time because if you really want to invest and get good, it takes a long time, and you need to care. And I just don't know if I have the kind of time to jump in. And
So you're also a Minecraft guy. Like you haven't played like as much as you might.
every
have
time
used
there's
to,
like a pretty major update, I'll go in and get in
yeah
and see what's up.
So when you play Minecraft, do you build?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you
I
have
dig.
that. You have that in you to make something, whether
Yeah.
or not it's consumable by somebody else. Like you have that desire to like build stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really play that game without doing that. If you did, you'd be like a sad person. Like you're just on the surface, like building dirt huts.
You're like a
Killing
homeless
some cows.
Minecraft
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah. That's all you do is kill cows and pigs.
Oh, that's another game with famous cows.
Sick cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a top 9
Sickest
sickest
cows.
cows in games.
Sickest
cows.
cows.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Big
it's pop
cows?
culture.
Yeah,
Just like
Rocco
cool cows.
Modern Life
I have
has
a cow
heifer.
on my desk.
Is it a
That's
is it a
sick.
famous cow?
Ooh, that cow from Harvest Moon.
Is that the Harvest Moon cow?
No, not that one.
I
It's
saw.
just a cow.
I was hanging out with a dog last night. He kind of looked like a cow. I called him Cow Dog. He was not amused.
Was he offended? Did he respond?
I think it was a she, and B, I had an asthma attack.
Well,
Damn it. I love you, Marty. Miranda, do you have that tendency inside you to like want to make stuff in games, or?
yeah, absolutely. I think even like with Fallout, you can kind of build your own
Yeah. Okay.
town, like shelter and customize it in your own way. It kind of adds this dimension of like yourself in the game. Like you get to be a presence, you matter in the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like you may be the protagonist or whatever, but having a place of your own in there just makes you that much more valid in that universe.
Yeah, and I think that was a big thing with Rust for me, is being
Yeah.
able to like literally create a city where people lived and have some kind of like
They all looked terrible and the same.
yeah.
Those
yeah.
stupid
Ours was
towers.
beautiful. We had a police station, so I don't want to hear
Was it made of the same materials as every other building?
Naked dudes.
Yeah, there's just
That's the only thing I think about Russ. Is just a ton of
just
naked
dongs
dudes.
running
It's just
around.
made of dongs. Welcome to Dongton.
yeah, like I don't know, like,
Dongton Abbey.
Dongton Abbey. I mean, you and I played a lot of Rust, and we built a lot of stuff, and we grinded our head against like bashing rocks with rocks, and that was great. But like for me, I'd have zero interest in making a map. Like I think it's cool, and I'm glad it
think-
exists. But like, do you want to make a Doom map? Do you want to make a Mario
No.
Maker level?
No,
Like
I
this is a
will
game
play-
about making games. Do you?
I will play other popular ones that are, people have already found and said, hey, this one works for these reasons,
Yeah.
and we've created this game out of this map. But when it's just me, like, messing around, like, oh, well, that was fun, but I'm never going to share it because it's not good enough to
Yeah,
be out
totally.
there. And, like,
Yeah.
not even my friends would probably want to play on that kind of thing.
I mean, that's why it would be
That's what I
great.
did in Halo. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be great if Bethesda was like found one amazing map each week, and then right on the dash of the game, like you load up the game, you load up multiplayer, and it's like, hey, here's the user-created map of the week.
Right, like main menu and then this mode.
Yeah.
It's like new game, load game, guys map.
Yeah, that's super important if you want people to be encouraged to do it. Then like this is an incentive to keep building the best.
Like
game.
hey, if you build something incredible
Yeah.
and it gains enough traction, it's going to be featured on the front of this game.
Right. Yeah, like a game that, I know, like people like us would cover that. Like, oh man, this new mode that Brian made is really awesome. It made the front page of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because after a while, like the most popular maps will just stay at the top.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then you just
Good
don't
point.
discover anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So you have to have a better tool for that.
Yeah, and then circling back to the Fallout thing, sort of the single player aspect of creation, I think it adds a sense of authorship to the game in a really cool way. To where when we're talking about the game, it's not like we didn't experience the same thing anymore. Like I experienced my story in my shanty town that got attacked by what's in Fallout? Robots, dogs,
Mutant crabs and
dogs you can't marry. Don't get me started on that.
Dogs and robots you can't marry.
What's the deal
you
with
can
that?
marry some companions, but not all of them.
Only
Yeah.
humans.
Wait, what about muties?
Maybe you can marry a mutie.
Sounds like a cereal.
Muties?
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 Sounds like an infection. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's
You
not
got
right.
A
muties.
cereal infection.
Listen, we
Remember cereal?
like
Podcast?
the food?
No, the podcast.
I still eat cereal.
Adnan had muties. That's what happened.
Long story short, none of us want to make video games. Like I don't know. I think like a lot of us got into this industry because we were fascinated by games and the art of making them. But I think like making games is really hard, and giving people the tools isn't necessarily going to connect with even people like us who really are interested in. Like I've tinkered with game engines. I made a level in Unreal. I made a terrible level in Unity. It's hard. And I would never want anyone to play that, and there's like a weird insecurity about it.
Yep,
Like
I
you're
don't-
actually creating something for consumption. It's hard.
Yep, I wouldn't want to put something out there that is not fun to play or entertaining or something.
It's a very rare game that is able to sort of straddle that line and empower you to create something cool and where it's easy. And I know it's a PC
Yeah.
podcast, but Mario Maker's totally
Yeah, of
hitting that.
course,
In
yeah.
90 minutes, I made something that's really cool, and I want a bunch of people to play. So
Like you're proud of it, like you would upload it and you'd be like, go, and see, that's awesome. Like that's what I'm hoping for from Doom and from Fallout mods and all that kind of stuff. Something to extend the experience indefinitely in a way that I don't want to make it, but man, I'm glad Brian made that level because damn, that campaign was really cool.
I think it'd also be
That
cool if you
multiplayer
could
map
almost
around
share
it
it
was great.
as like a Google Doc and sort of have it as a communal thing to where like the four of us could all hop into
Interesting.
the editor at the same time that's updating in real time what we're
Oh,
doing.
that
and
would
being
be
like,
really
You
cool.
work on
Yeah.
this corner, I'll work on like weapon placement.
I mean, you can in Forge. I don't know if you can in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of
in
the thing with
Snap
Project
or Mario
Spark,
Maker.
and that's what I loved about Project Spark was I would like get my friend Anthony to come in, and he would start constructing a level, and then as he's building it, I'd be behind him, giving it art and doing like environment design and
Yeah.
things like that.
This is just making me think it'd be kind of cool to get like good designers to all contribute to something, and you just like feel like that person's influence at different parts of the level as you
Yeah.
play.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That would be really cool. Like I want to have Steve Gaynor make a Doom level.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
He's one of those guys you mentioned that started out with Doom mods.
Yeah.
JP LeBreton. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Anthony
Man.
Galangas.
Are these real?
The first two are real. The third one was Anthony Gallegos.
Anthony
with a
Gallegos.
mispronounced last name.
Who did not make Doom levels whatsoever. Oh man, I'm gonna end that segment right there.
Hell of a transition, Mitchell.
Yeah. So something I think that's really interesting. I mean, we're talking about making mods and changing levels, and I think that the Source 2 engine is a really interesting piece of technology for that. Dota 2 is having a lot of major changes with custom game modes, and we learned about the 12v12 stuff coming to Dota 2 at some point this week. Might already be out by the time this podcast is live.
Wait, what? That game's coming 12v12?
Yeah, man.
It's a
Absolute
disaster
nonsense.
because the map is built for the pace of 5v5.
It's
Is it the same
beautiful.
map?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just
Well,
throw.
you can make different stuff in Reborn,
But Valve
they
is
showed
just
it on the
releasing
regular
a
map.
12v12 variant. Like they're enabling up to 24 players for Dota 2,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Instead of 10. So
Jesus Christ.
So-
It's a disaster, like
Yeah.
in a good way.
it's
But
so
it's
wonderful.
awesome, and I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Like I love all the custom game modes coming to Dota 2, and I love that. Like once it's finally out of beta and Source 2 is like the only client for Dota 2, it's going to be really interesting to see how that game changes, especially with Valve adding new stuff. Like I talked to them at TI5 about adding game modes and like, hey, look, you guys did Wraith Knight, and I never got to play that again, and it was awesome. Are you going to add that back?
And it's gone forever.
But it sounds like they're going to bring it back. Like it sounds like custom games are going to
Ugh,
allow
it's so
them
good.
to do that, or at least, at the very least, rely on the community to just replicate it.
So
Yeah.
I think Dota's really needed these custom games for a long time. It's not compared to League, but
Yeah.
I love League because it does have those silly
Yes.
other modes that let you just kind of blow off steam and have fun with other
Yeah,
heroes.
there's Dota Soccer, and it's
It's
awesome.
so good.
It's Dota Strikers.
It's just they just stole Mario Strikers and made it Dota 2. Like you use mouse keyboard and you have certain Dota skills and you just play Mario Strikers.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
I'm down for that.
so good. You would actually really like it.
I'm down for
yeah,
that.
it's like amazing custom games. They're rated by the community. The top like 10 or so are on the
Very similar to
custom
what we said
page.
would be great
Yeah.
for Fallout
Yeah,
and
you
Doom.
need
Yep.
something to showcase what you have out there, and they are, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. So it's nice that you kind of finally get a break from like the tense.
Yeah,
And
though, yeah. I
fighting.
mean, exactly the way you described them as palate cleansers. Like those are the things that you were like, hey, in between super intense matches, I want to do something real dumb.
Yeah,
for
or like you had a
20
really bad match at the end of the night, so you just end like, you know what, let's just play some soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, let's just do that.
minutes. They should have Dota murder mysteries.
That would be incrable.
Yeah.
I want-
Can we have a
Let's
Dota
make it.
dinner party? And
I
have
want a
murder
Dota
mystery?
Telltale game.
Yeah.
I want a Dota dating sim.
All these things
Okay.
are right. Source 2 will allow you to make this, Miranda.
I'm gonna make it
That's true.
happen.
Oh
guys.
my God! Can we? I want legitimately this to be a project that you and I
I
take
started
on.
kind of writing out things. So.
Okay,
Keep
I'm
going.
not, I'm not joking. Start Entwine. I'm gonna
Right.
look at these tools and we're gonna see what we can do.
All right, I'll
Who
actually
you
serious about
shipping?
this.
Yeah, who's the protagonist?
Yeah, who's the main
It's,
character in your
uh,
dating sim?
I don't know if you want to get to be a creep because you get to be somebody, but I want you to be able to date
Earthshaker.
anybody. I don't want you to have to be a
Wait, you're
have to
dating
be
sim where you're
hero.
a creep?
No, you get to no. They're creeps.
What if it was about how lonely Roshan is in that pit?
Oh man, no, that's the DLC.
Oh, I like
Is
that.
there someone in a pit? Someone
Yeah.
get locked in a pit?
Yeah, he's just stuck in his sad cave all day,
So someone comes and kills him.
It's an actual
and then people
pit?
just run in and kill him.
Well,
You-
he deserved it.
no, he's just no.
He stole stuff from the shopkeeper, who then.
That's true.
Never mind. We don't need to do this.
You want to get into the history of the secret shop lore?
What kind of a
Because
pit?
we can regale
what
you.
kind of a pit? Oh, you saw that VR thing. That sounded cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You were in the secret shop. Did you go into that dude's pit?
I did. So, like, at TI, like, basically, like, the International was basically an amazing event, A, because competitive Dota is looking really good right now. The matches were awesome. Yay, the American team won.
There's never been a higher skill level either.
Yeah, like, it was
Amazing
just super
players.
competitive. But as a whole, the event was really indicative of Valve's future, which is interesting. Like, it's the most transparent Valve has been in a really long time. Like we saw, like the All-Star match, we talked about the 12v12 thing. Like that's where they revealed that, hey, like we're gonna show you 10v10 Dota, and hey, it's coming next week. Like you can have custom games up to 24 players, and that's awesome. Like they've never made an announcement like that, except last year when they showed the new hero, which they might have been supposed to do this year too, but whatever. So
Wait, what was that?
Pit Lord.
Lord.
There's
Pit
two
Lord.
pits.
there's many lords.
Wait, is it not an actual pit? It's not like a
So
hole?
there's a hole,
It's like a
and
cave.
there's a dragon that lives in this hole.
You've seen it.
That's the Roche pit. Roshan pit.
lives there.
And then there's a character called Pit Lord.
and he's
He was
different
supposed
pit.
to-
Roshan's master?
No.
No.
He has his own tutorial.
Roshan's master.
And he's a pit lord, though, and Roshan's the pit.
Yeah, but Pit Lord doesn't have a pit on the map. He's just a guy.
He's actually the
I've seen
abyssal
that.
underlord, but whatever. Anyway.
Oh, man.
The fuck is this game about?
I hope he looks nice because all the old character models I saw is just
He looks like
awful.
a fat Barney.
He's so gross.
like fatter Barney.
Is he a purple dino?
kind of.
Yeah. Is he like
He's
on
purple and green.
I feel like you're trying to
Four legs,
you're
though.
trying to describe to a cop a dude that mugged you, but like you didn't have your glasses and you were just real drunk.
So you got mugged?
I got mugged. I'm trying to describe the cop.
Anyway, so just God, it is impossible to keep a Marty podcast on topic. You're just a freight train, just no tracks.
Also, now I'm just picturing Pit Lord with an E at the end, and it's Hip Hop Star Lord. And she's stuck in a pit and cannot get out.
Good stuff. So TF5, lots of good stuff going on. I think it was the most transparent Valve's ever been. We got to see a lot of really, really cool stuff. Yeah, the Secret Shop demo, the VR demo they have for Vive was really awesome. Like I wrote about it. You can read about it on IGN.com. But it's basically like, hey, we made a Dota 2 demo for Vive, and you can just go play it. And it was open to the public, and they were talking pretty openly about, you know, we made it over the course of 18 months, and we shelved it for half that time because we were like, oh, we have other stuff to do. Put it on. We'll get back to it later. Valve was super open about, like, we're going to have 2 new heroes for Dota 2 by, at the latest, the International 6 next year.
I've had more than 2 heroes.
I would bet they're
One every
both-
6 months on average is kind of slow.
Yeah, even for Valve.
Yeah. One thing I'm ready for now is like, now that TI is passed, I think it's like go time. Like they needed, TI was on the old Dota client.
Source 1.
Yeah, because they didn't want to mess stuff up for the biggest tournament
Yeah.
ever. But now like they're going to start the major championships for every 3 months. There's a huge tournament. They're starting to make team rosters and organize thing, and that's going to take place.
Totally.
it is now time for, like, Valve had this hands-off approach, and it kind of started falling apart a little bit because players would just switch teams whenever they want,
Like,
and tournaments didn't matter.
There was no reason to care about a team because it just switched so often.
Right.
It's like, I don't care about C9 anymore because half the team's
They
gone.
just leave whenever they
Right.
want. But now Valve's coming in and saying, like, all right, let's set this up, let's build this thing up, and then I think they're going to step back again once it's, like, up and running. I'm just excited to see between now and TI6 what Dota looks like.
Yeah, and not even just Dota. Like, the future of Counter-Strike is really weird, in a weird place. Like, seeing Valve get so involved in Dota 2 and then openly admitting, like, I don't really think that Counter-Strike needs the International. I don't think it needs an event on that scale. Like, Valve openly admitting that they're not super interested in the grandeur of the International for its second biggest game is really weird. But at the same time, also telling me, like, flat out, like, yeah, Counter-Strike will probably be on Source 2. Like, they're so open about certain things and it's just, like, maddening. Like, the choices they're making drive me crazy. And I don't
You
understand
think you think Counter-Strike needs a TI event? Okay.
Yes, because Valve is not involved in that game whatsoever anymore. Like, they're just letting the community handle it. And that's how they've been doing things for so long, is hands off, let the community drive it. And that's been the reason Dota is successful. So embrace that for CS, which is growing more rapidly than Dota.
Yeah, it's still a ways behind Dota, but it's growing faster.
Sure, yeah.
I wonder if they're just kind of like one thing at a time. Like, we're going to get Dota running, going to let it go. It's going to leave the nest. And
But
then they
take
hop
care
to
of one baby at a
CSGO.
time. You can't have your hands too full.
Yeah.
One baby at a time.
I mean,
Mitch.
ideally, this is because
Unless
Valve
you're
is, like,
twins.
making other games. Like, they are making more games than Source 2 would be the ideal reason that they aren't doing anything tournament-wise with Counter-Strike. It's why they're hopefully going to get more hands-off with TI, which was kind of always the intent, it seems. And to your point about them, like, getting hands-on and then just stepping away seems to make sense. And I hope that's because it's like, oh, we're making Left 4 Dead 3. It's on Source 2. Here you go.
Valve has no franchises that... Every franchise Valve has is now waiting on 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, like, the running joke. Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3,
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress 3.
Team Fortress
Dota 3.
Dota 3. Funny.
Maybe they'll just make a box. Here's all the threes.
$3.
Good luck. Just
Yeah.
buy. It's $100. All the threes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Dota 3 won't be a thing for like 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know if they even waste their time.
If it ever exists.
Yeah. I don't know. Valve's a weird company, and I am so impressed by so much of what they did at TI and so confused about the decisions they made with other things that I'm just like, you are a fascinating, amazing company that does the best event I've ever been part of, and I'm more excited about Dota 2 now than I have ever been. And I'm also just like, what are you doing? Please give me more games. Like, make more games. You're Valve.
We don't need to jump into this right now, but I always find companies fascinating when the main money they make isn't from the games. Like, Epic makes money from selling Unreal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
And Valve from Steam.
Yes.
You know, like
Well,
they
instead
just
of from
operate
Steam,
differently.
it's like tournament stuff now.
Sure.
Valve made almost $70 million on compendium sales, like fake books for a tournament that give you hats
Yeah.
if you
I was
accomplish
like a
certain
third of
goals.
that.
Yeah, like I bought so many levels for my compendium so that I could get free stuff in the game, and contributed to this massive $70 million profit that Valve made. That's
Nerds.
insane. All right.
I paid
Okay.
$20.
That's it.
How much did you?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
This
either.
podcast is going to the public where my girlfriend can find it, and I'd rather not say any.
Last thing I'll point out. At TI, they had little stickers that you collected, and when you got all 6 stickers, you would go hand them in, and they would give you an item that you would unlock in the game, and that item had a small chance of being gold. And I went and picked up my item with 2 minutes left to redeem them, and I got the gold one.
2 minutes
Boom.
left to redeem it. Oh, at the end
Like
of the show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the booth with the thing they're handing out was closing,
Wow.
and I sold the item for like $175
Boom.
yesterday. So good. Free money.
Dota's just
Look what you're
really
missing
bright.
out on,
Dumb
Marty.
Career.
So,
Gold.
did I get drunk and buy your gold item?
Hope not.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I was drunk and I thought I saw Dark Souls on Steam, and this was before it was on there.
Yeah.
And there's a game called like Lost Souls : Dark something, and I was like, yeah, Dark
Did you
Souls.
buy it?
Did you buy
Yeah,
it?
I bought it. And so it's just in my library.
Oh man, that's a good topic for another show. Is
Yep.
the drunkest mistakes you've ever made on Steam?
Yep.
Because I think we've all been there.
I bought commemorative stamps once when I was drunk.
No.
I didn't realize why.
No way.
Yeah.
What do you think they were?
I think that I thought they were commemorative stamps, and I got really excited.
This is a hobby I'm going to start right now.
I think it was just like old ass presidents. Bunch of white dudes.
Old ass presidents. Okay.
Spent a lot of money on some paper white men.
Yeah.
Oh,
Paper
boy.
white men.
Some paper white men. Okay, I guess we can just shift gears without actually segueing nicely at all. I mean, we're talking about Valve. I think Valve as a company is really interesting, and I'm very excited about Steam machines. I'm probably going to buy a Steam Link. I'm probably going to buy a Steam controller. Have you guys seen this Steam Boy thing, the Smach Zero?
I don't like his name.
The Smach.
The Smach Zero?
Smash?
Smosh?
I think it's Smach.
Smach.
The Smach Zero.
Smach Zero. It's a terrible name.
I did see it.
Marty, have you seen this thing?
Yeah.
Miranda?
Yep.
Okay, so we all did our research. First impressions, like when you see this thing, do you want it? What's up?
All I want to know is, can it run Dota well from anywhere? I'm not gonna lie. That's all I want to think about.
That'd be a weird. I don't see that working, but
Me either, but it'd be
It would
really
be-
exciting, right?
yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of fun
So
to try.
let's talk about it. It's $300.
Yes, it's sort of modeled after the Steam controller. Looks like it has touchpad
Kind of, yeah.
thingies. It's got
720p, 5-inch screen. I think that's about the Vita size. Is that right?
maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
The Surface 2 Pro has a 10-inch screen, so it's like half that. So I think that's decently
10-inch?
sizable
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
handheld machine.
And it has HDMI output and 4G connectivity, but only on the Pro,
Pro model, which I think that's probably a separate, like not $300 model.
So that's weird because I would never play this if I was at home.
No, and I'm also not going to download Civilization 5 on my 4G connection.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would maybe play Steam games on 4G if I'm out somewhere.
So-
But
Sure.
that's the hook. Like I'm not even considering the regular model at that point.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So the
You
only
have
reason
thought.
I would consider the lower price model is because there's a lot of dating sims and visual novels that get on Steam, and they never make to Vita. They never make it on any other handhelds. And my favorite way to play those is on, handhelds.
Yeah,
And
totally.
so it's just like a better way to curl up with something you're really
Yeah.
and kind of
Well,
make
and
choices.
there's just, I mean, like I play my Vita all the time because I
Yeah.
travel a lot, and
Yeah.
I play like smaller indie games. I mean, that's all there is to play on Vita now. But
That's why it exists, and it's
but
great.
yeah, but like Steam's library of those things just like put Vitas to shame.
Oh, it's gross,
Like,
yeah.
I have so many of these games already in my library, and I'm like, man, if I could just access all of these and have them on the road with me and play them whenever I want, like that'd be incredible.
Well, Marty, the Smach supports more than 1,000 games at launch.
So I think that's basically the same as any other Steam box. Like I think this is literally just a Steam machine,
Yeah.
but portable. Like they've made a minimum spec Steam machine running Steam OS, has like mouse keyboard input kind of on the touch screen and the weird pads.
Yeah.
Are Steam machines being sold as or marketed as 1,000 games supported?
Yes.
That just seems weird. Like what? Why are some games not
It's
supported?
because it's Steam OS supported. Like it's on a
Oh,
dev to make it Steam OS
gotcha.
compatible, and that's to your point. Like I hope that indie devs start implementing Steam OS support as readily as they are Linux and Mac. Like even more aggressively because Mac support is not super common on Steam. Like I look at my Mac games compared to my PC games, and it's
sad.
like none of these are compatible. All the stuff I want to play is PC only. Damn it.
Yep.
Except Dota.
That was me. I was like crying during Steam sales in college because I just had a MacBook Pro, and I was just like,
Nothing
well,
works.
I
I
don't
imagine
get
you
anything.
literally crying. No, it's
Yes.
not there.
Yep.
Some of the supported games are Dota 2, Half-Life 2, and Civ 5. So some good ones, but
Yeah, and I kind of wish there was. I mean, I'm sure there is a list of all the games out there, but it's funny that Dota 2 is one of the games they promote as like you can play Dota 2 on your Vita, your
Hey,
PC
if
Vita.
you have 11 teammates, then it's fine.
I want to do a 5v5 handheld only Dota match.
in spectator mode.
Ooh, yeah, in the
Or
portrait view.
whatever,
It
yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like just death.
The idea of being able to
Sadness.
play Half-Life 2 on the go is awesome. The idea of being able to jump into a match of Team Fortress 2 while on the commute is awesome. To your point, like dating sims, like short story stuff fits really well. I'd like to take it on a plane. I'd like 4G access for multiplayer stuff. But I love the idea of this like portable Steam Game Boy until I started looking at the specs, and then I got really concerned.
What's up?
So this thing is basically as minimum spec as you can get for a PC. And it's to be expected. Like, I'm not knocking this thing. It is literally a handheld computer that plays Dota 2. I can't complain too hard about that. That's awesome. That said, this thing has 4 gigs of RAM. It has 32 gigabytes internal memory with room for external expansion, and we don't know the battery life. So those are major concerns.
It's
of
super
mine.
scary. It's like you can have a few games, like maybe 2.
Like
Yeah.
small games, and one of them is
Yeah.
not Dota 2. It's like
Yeah.
Civilization 5 does not fit on this device.
32 is very small.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, am I carrying around a passport hard drive in my pocket while I'm playing this game off the hard drive?
Yeah,
That
is
would
this
be
thing
awful.
no longer a portable?
Right. Like, can this and given the specs of this machine, how quickly is it drawing the data from that external hard drive, and how does that affect performance?
Yeah, you have to have like a really fast spinning hard drive.
Yeah,
you worry about the RPMs on it.
Exactly.
And
at that point, I'm starting to worry about how the hard drive, the GPU, the CPU, how all of these things are negatively affected by its inability to do something. So I think this is a really cool device, and I don't want to sound too down on it because it is awesome, but man, I'm concerned about it, and I would love to get my hands on one. I wrote some notes about like how it compares to a Surface, which is like my go-to. This is an acceptable gaming.
You're already
machine.
on a mobile Dota machine.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have, it doesn't have 4G, LTE, anything like that. It's also the Surface Pro 2, which sort of is irrelevant at this point, but that's what I use. It starts at $900, 1080p screen, 64 gigabyte internal, also 4 gig RAM. And the Surface 2 is not the ideal gaming machine. Like it runs Dota, it runs Civ, but not well. They look bad. So I worry about having to play games on like minimum spec to just function. The
Especially games that require some sort of timing.
Yeah, like anything that's reflex intensive is potentially bad, especially if performance is taking a hit off, running off a hard drive or whatever. Surface Pro 3 starting at $800, which means the worst model you can get is also 64 gig internal, also 4 gig RAM, but the screen is 1440.
Now we're talking these are 3 times more expensive than the Smach.
So when you look at something that's a little
the Smach.
So when you look at something that's a little more comparable price-wise, Alienware's $450 Steam machine, which is kind of like the go-to model on Steam when you went to pre-order, like that was the one you looked at.
Right.
That thing combines the awesome experience of console gaming with a massive library of 1,000 games, 1080p HD on your TV, GTX GPU, but the concern here, 2 gigabytes GDDR5 RAM. That's not a lot.
So
DDR5 is fast, but 2 gig is not a lot at all.
How does this compare to like the NVIDIA Shield?
That's a good question. I did
Because
not
it's
look up
pretty
the
much the
specs.
same thing.
Vamp, I'm going to look it up.
It's if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a handheld that streams your Steam games.
Yeah.
So I thought they came out with like a newer model.
They did. It's a tablet. Like
Yeah.
it's not the controller thing anymore.
Okay.
Like the Shield tablet is the go-to now.
Yeah, so the original Shield just had like a controller and then a little flip-up screen. Just
Yeah.
connected to the controller.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a really interesting. Like, if anyone could also, like you were mentioning before, battery life. Like, that's super worrisome to me. Like, am I gonna have to be tethered to a wall? Because
Yeah,
if
I
so,
mean,
I'm
if
like,
you're
well, this
using-
is stupid. Why don't I just have a laptop?
Yeah, using 4G and it just like drains your battery.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
then there goes the game.
What is the battery life? I'm not seeing it on the
Well,
stats
we
here.
don't
They're
know.
not saying
No.
it. Yet to be confirmed. Got it.
So quick hits on the Shield controller. It's 5-inch screen, 720p, so very similar in size. 16 gigs. So at least this thing has double the memory of
Yeah.
the Shield.
Also, this thing, it says it's 300, but it's if you pre-order on November 10th at an early bird price.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's the base minimum model at an early bird price. So what is this going to be? I would imagine this is actually more comparable price-wise to that Alienware.
Yeah, 300 is
450.
the basement. So I totally imagine 400 or 500.
For the Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, I mean, it's obviously a really cool convenience. It does have a lot of benefits, but it also does come with these caveats of like not ideal specs.
Yeah.
But it's hard to ask for more, so I'm kind of conflicted about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never an early adopter for hardware.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that anyway.
Also, when you're paying that much, why not ask for more? I mean, if it's been done before, then do it even better.
Totally,
If you're
yeah.
going to try again,
Yeah.
then...
Yeah, and I don't know. I sort of like. There are so many games I want to play right now. So many games that I sort of like when I'm in a situation and that number shrinks. My options shrink.
Yeah.
So I'm traveling and all I have is my phone and my Vita, and I can play what's on there as opposed to. Man, if I always have that terrifying Steam library staring back at me, like everywhere I go, like that's just I'm gonna spend like an hour every day. I'm gonna spend my entire commute just looking through it.
What do I play?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a device I think. I mean, and maybe the memory restraint is actually a benefit in
Yeah.
that regard. It's like, well, I can play the Banner Saga.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
If this was somehow like great and worked and you could play Fallout 4
Man.
anywhere,
Yeah.
See, that'll be the real test. Is
That'd
like,
be awesome.
what is a massive game like that? Massive in terms of like install size, but also in terms of ambition. Like,
Yeah. Or
how
about
does-
Witcher or like
Yeah, like how does something that requires
Open world, what's on the
pretty
screen?
serious
Yeah.
performance from a good rig? How does that fare? Like, what is that experience like as a portable game?
the nice thing,
That's really
I guess, nice thing is that 720p is very low for a computer.
Yeah.
So like it's not monitors are like 1080 or 1200 or 1600 usually.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
a
a
good
lot
point.
of
Like,
performance
1080p
saved.
on a 5-inch screen, you're just not going to get the benefit
yeah.
from that. So it's kind of worth that sacrifice for the enhanced performance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't think about that. I like that a lot. $300 is a lot. Let's see if IGM will expense one for us so we can check it out, as opposed to all of us investing $300 minimum in the worst version of this thing. Steam Boy. That's it. And that's our show. We did it, everybody.
We did it.
Good
Got
job.
it together. Marty Sherrod a show about Dota.
Yeah.
You drew a cool little Pikachu on there.
Pikachu is in a little dragon
Do
costume.
you know who owns Pikachu? Ash Ketchum.
There we go. I
know-
wanted to see if I could outweight you, but I also didn't want the silence to be too awkward.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see Old Boy.
we all
It's
learned,
really good.
we laughed a little. We learned a little.
Old Boy has this really incredible shot where it's one shot, it's really long, and he's just beating the snot out of everyone in the subway. And it's just one shot panning left to right for like 3 minutes.
Oh, after
It's like outside of the car.
No, it's on a platform, and the shot is like from where the train would be, and it's just panning over.
No, it's not even a platform. It's in a warehouse, but it just looks
Is
the way
it?
it's framed. Like there's
thought it
giant
was like
black
a
bars at the top and bottom of the
That's
screen,
right.
and the actor just gets so exhausted by the end.
Oh,
of it.
it's
really
so
good.
so good.
Yeah,
See Old Boy.
yeah,
Cool.
Watch that weird octopus scene.
Yeah,
Makes you freak
you can
out
watch
every
Old Boy on your PC.
Thanks, Marty. Miranda, what have you been up to? What do you want to promote? You doing PC things? You doing anime things? Tell me all about
You can watch
tell me
anime
about
on your
life.
PC.
Yeah, you can.
There's a lot of streaming websites.
You can watch Anime Club on your PC.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, we recorded an anime club and it went up today.
Nice.
We talked about Dota. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
'Cause
did you do
Lena-
that?
Lena.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh,
good.
from Slayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
All of her abilities
know.
are the exact same.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Did
she
you
was
just
from
learn about
Slayers.
that when I told you about it the other week or something?
Yeah, you told me. Oh, she's based off an anime character, and I was like,
You
oh,
looked it
what?
up.
And then I discussed how I haven't been watching anime recently because I've been watching Dota, and then I was like,
Bring
oh.
those worlds together.
Yeah, and I was gonna be Callie's Dota senpai, so it's
There we
fine.
go.
We're like, okay, we can tie it into anime.
Is she gonna start playing?
Yeah,
It's
so
time, Marty.
wrangling people into the office back in Dota.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we brought up, oh hey, Lena is also based off an anime character. And then Megan was
looks
like,
just
wait,
like her.
what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
so
shameless.
I haven't seen Slayers, so I didn't know. And then of course one of our other hosts knew, so I was like, yes,
That worked out nicely.
yeah, it's good.
Your
I
Havoc
heard-
Rose on Twitter.
Yeah.
Havoc with a K.
Yeah.
I heard that Roshan was based on Hiro Yui, the star of Gundam Wing. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. I think
Yeah.
that checks out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Albert, what are you up to? Tell me about your life.
And
You feeling
Dota
okay?
and stuff. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Not really PC related, but there's going to be a super cool Star Wars feature going up later, probably after this podcast or
You
maybe
can
around
play
the same
Star
time.
Wars games on PC.
You can watch Star Wars.
You
on
can
your
watch
PC.
Star Wars.
Yeah. You can download Star Wars backgrounds.
The myriad
You're
features of the personal computer.
Technically, all video games are made using computers, so we can
You
talk
can
about whatever we
subscribe
want.
to
Yeah.
Solitaire.
Yeah. Oh, God, no.
You know, Mario Maker was on PC first. You are at Albino Albert on Twitter.
That's me.
Marty.
When's that Star Wars feature coming
Oh,
up?
yeah. It's
Uh,
probably live now.
when is this? Yeah, by the time this goes up, it
This
should be
will
live.
not go up today.
Okay,
You're
then yes, then it is live
It is
now.
live. Go find it.
Yeah.
It's about the music, right?
It's about the music of
Find
Star
it.
Wars. A
7
guy
things
who
you
worked at
didn't know?
LucasArts for a long time and is a trained musician dissects John Williams' music, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that
David
sounds
Collins. He hosts a podcast
incredible.
called Star Wars Oxygen.
It's the
and
9 things you
the
didn't know
best.
about Star Wars music,
you
and
go.
I don't think I was lying with that because no one that I've talked to knows the things.
I didn't know
except
any of
for
those
you
things.
because you listen to the
Yeah,
podcast.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll be the one guy in the comments. I knew actually.
did this.
Actually, comma.
Damn it, Mitch. Go home.
Marty, you're at McBiggity, 2
I
G's,
am.
2 T's on
Yes,
the
sir.
Tweeter. What are you working on?
We ranked all of Kojima's Metal Gear games.
We did.
You can play Ground Zeroes on PC. That works.
Yay.
But you can play one of them on a PC. Oh,
Didn't you do an ARMS thing?
Yeah, I think it just went up.
Wait, did that happen
Yeah,
today?
24,
Yes!
24 raddest arms in pop culture.
Ratist?
Raddest.
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 Most rad.
The Dragon Ball
Reddest?
villain?
Raddits.
One's red.
25 Raditz arms. I reviewed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is a PS4 game, but it's
Yeah.
a game about walking around and not doing anything, so it's
Oh,
kind
hey.
of like a PC game.
I'm doing the wiki for that.
you're doing
the
I
wiki?
don't know what I'm gonna do for it, but
Yeah.
Walk left,
here's
walk
where you
right.
find your radio.
Here's where you talk to sad ghosts.
Aw.
And then
Sad stories.
I'm also reviewing Tales from the Borderlands episode 4 now.
Nice.
Which
I-
is a PC game.
I wish I got my code for that today, so I,
I
could
don't have
play
my
it.
code, so I'm not actually
my
reviewing it
personal
out.
computer.
I lied.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
We should be in touch with them. Yell at them.
Job.
Give me the codes.
stoppers.
That's great. I'm at Mitchie D on Twitter. I am working on, I don't even know anymore. Go back and read all the stuff from the International that I did. It's awesome photo galleries of merch, the Demi Heroes, the event. You can go behind the scenes and see like what the back of the secret shop looks like, how Valve put this whole thing together. They used literally Monday Night Football trucks to set up their broadcasting center.
That's football nice.
Thank you, buddy.
What kind of food do they serve there? Do they serve Dota-themed food?
Churros.
She knows.
Oh man.
Churros?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
churros. I thought the word you said was a Dota term.
No.
And I was like, wait, I know that. Churros! Oh, sick. They have churros.
Yeah, they got great churros at TI.
Really quick, awful,
Yeah.
sad story.
Yeah.
After TI5, I was sad that there were no churros, so I went to Jack in the Box.
Oh no.
And they have little mini churros.
Oh no. Why do you let him do this?
She went with me.
What?
You
You're
ate them.
complicit.
I needed something to eat. We were home
Jesus
at like
Christ, you
midnight.
guys.
or
They're not
something.
TI churros.
No, a few things are. Marty, you got to come to TI next year exclusively for the hot churro action.
Oh, dude, I love churros. Yeah.
Great.
These are pretty good.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this disaster cast.
Go eat some churros.
We'll be back next week with IGN Overclocked. We might take a break the week after because of PAX, but maybe we'll try to record earlier in the week. We'll figure it out. We are a weekly show. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, download, review, share, all that stuff. Just search Overclocked on iTunes. You'll find us. We also have articles on IGN where you can see what the topics are, and then you can see past episodes, YouTube, all that good stuff. We break out these topics every week, so keep an eye out for those. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for joining me. From Marta Sanchez, Brian Albert, Martin Sleva, I'm Mitch Dyer. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.